Hey there, my name is Tim Stoddart, and in this week's video, we're going to talk about whether or not you need a website. Is it still important for you to have a business website for your online business in the year 2025? Well, let's talk about it. So this whole concept came to me last night as I was writing my newsletter. And if you want to check it out, the link to this newsletter will be in the description of the video. I wrote a newsletter here basically breaking down everything that we're going to talk about. But more or less, what's going on is many of you guys know that my wife, this is my wife right here, Juliana, she has started an online business. She is a healer. She facilitates breathwork sessions and she facilitates psychedelic sessions with psilocybin, with mushrooms. And she is building her business. And over the last week, she has been absolutely crushing it. She's gotten 3 leads and she's closed all 3 deals. And so in this newsletter, I kind of break it down, but in this video, I want to go to some more detail. So her and I have been talking about rebuilding her website. This is her website, somaticjewels.com. This is her brand. And the original idea behind this website was that she was going to be appealing to people locally. We live in Denver, and there's a community in Denver for people that are a little bit more into this somatic healing with breathwork and psychedelics. And so we just thought that SEOing her website for Denver was going to generate plenty of business. But what's happened is almost all of the business that has been generated has been locally, and it's been through the Google business profile. So if we look at SEMrush, we can see that she's generating a lot of traffic and she's getting a lot of leads through the contact form on her website. But you can see right here, if you look at her keywords, that all of the traffic has come from Google business profile. You see this little pin right here? That just means that it's positioned in the local pack. So somatic breathwork near me, I'm sure that we will see that Somatic Jewels is #1. And so she's gotten a good amount of deals from this. But really, where the majority of her deals has come from is just her content. So she closed a deal from her Substack, and even more important, she's not even sending traffic from her Substack to her website anymore. She's just booking calls. So this is the CTA on the bottom of her Substack. She's got a basic CTA, ways to work with me, one-on-one breathwork journey, join a group breathwork journey, one-on-one conscious cannabis journey, one-on-one psilocybin journey. And so she has book your free discovery call right here. And she's just booking meetings straight through her Substack and bypassing her website, because before she used to send traffic to this contact page. And now it's not even as important. She can just send traffic straight to the Calendly link and book meetings there. And so that's what's been happening. And it's really, really fascinating to me because all of this work that we've done on the website isn't really that valuable. The website is only valuable right now because it's providing the website link in her Google business profile, which is generating a decent amount of breathwork clients. But the vast majority of her clients are coming from her personal Instagram, which is right here. You can see that she's linking to Somatic Jewels and her Eventbrite. But what's so fascinating is really through the DMs. It's through the DMs of her Instagram page where she is promoting her content, she's promoting her events, she's promoting her newsletter, and people are just reaching out to her saying like, hey, I'm really interested in working with you. I saw your content. And she has this business page as well that she's building. And the same thing. This is much, much more focused towards her business. The content is really specific about, breathwork, psychedelics, somatics. And so this, even with 182 followers, is generating like a lot of leads. So this really, really got me thinking, like, do you even need to have a website anymore? So I think it's really important to understand that the game has changed so much. When I built my first online business and I first started following Copyblogger, the idea behind having a website was always about ownership, because this was like before social media, right? If you wanted to grow your authority and build your email list, you would write blog posts and then you would email those blog posts out to people, usually through an RSS feed. And then people would, like, believe it or not, forward your email to their friends and their colleagues. And so email was kind of like the original social media platform. But now You don't need that. You can just build your brand through social media, and website websites more or less perform as like a contact page, as is true with the example that I just showed you, where in Juliana's case, she's booking her appointments not even through her website itself, just through her Substack. But I think there are examples in where you can take this one step further. And then I also think there are examples where it's important to build a website, which is what we're going to talk about. So let's look at some more examples real quick. So this right here is a perfect example. Growletter.com. This is Matt McGarry. This is his agency, and you can see it's just a one-page splash page. So what Matt does is he uses his newsletter, and his newsletter is like a promotion. It's a media company that more or less promotes his product and his agency. And so you can see right here, I'm not going to subscribe to this. I hate when it does this. I wish you could just read it. But if you would read this whole thing, towards the bottom there would be a CTA that says, contact me through my agency. And you can even see right here that the link on his website, it goes to this one pager. So this one pager is nothing but like a basic representation of his agency. It gives you some social proof with testimonials. It gives you a basic understanding of the services that he facilitates, that he provides to his customers, and it gives you a way to reach out to him. Most importantly, it gives you a way to reach out to him. And so in this example, this is like a perfect example of when a one-page website is relevant. Another example is my own community. So what I do is I send out my newsletter every morning, and at the end of my newsletter, I have a basic CTA that goes to my community. So the machinemethod.co, when you click on this link, you go here, and that's it. This is a very, very basic one-page splash page that does something really similar to what Matt does, and I just have my contact form, my iClosed form at the bottom, and people can reach out to me. And this is how I sell my high ticket membership and my coaching services. So the question is, when is it important to actually have a website? Because I think we can all agree that there's plenty of different businesses that need to have websites. They need to have like a more robust online representation of the services that they perform, or what the business is and what the brand is. And in my opinion, this is an easy differentiation. Is your business a personal brand business, or is it more of like a corporate business? These examples that I just gave with Juliana's business, that's obviously a personal brand business. Although her services are separated and her brand is not her name, it's still a personal brand. Like, she is using herself to grow her company. In Matt's example, yeah, it's an agency, but it's Matt's agency. He uses all of his social media, his personal newsletter to try to promote his services. In my case, I use my social media to generate email subscribers to my Substack, and then I use my personal Substack to try to sell subscriptions to the machine method. But there's plenty of businesses where this isn't the case, where the brand is autonomous, where the brand is separate from the owner, from the CEO, from the founder. So let's take a look at some of those examples. First example I have is a business that I am a partner in, Right Path Recovery. This is a drug and alcohol rehab in San Diego, California. And like, obviously, this is a high-end medical location-based service, and we need to have a website. Nobody is going to call us if they're in need of drug rehabilitation services from a one-page splash page that looks something like Grow Letter, where it's like a basic rundown of the services. That's not realistic. The brand itself needs to be represented. And so in this case, it's really, really important that we have a company website and that we are listing our services, that we're creating content, that we're listing our therapies, and we're giving people all of the information they need to shop around and make the decision that's important to them. I think another cool example is MP Digital, right? Because this is Neil Patel's agency. And in a lot of ways, this is a personal brand business, but there's also separation because Neil Patel has his own blog and he generates leads from his blog. But the business itself is so separate from him, has such a robust offering, and is so corporatized, let's call it, that it still needs to be standalone. It still needs to have its own online representation on the internet. So if for whatever reason the neilpatel.com site isn't working, I think another good example is Sue. Eric Sue, right? So you can see that he has a personal brand. Eric is like a pretty known online marketer, and he uses this brand to promote his agency, but his agency still has a really, really robust website. It still has an online representation of itself. And then my favorite example, because I think this is like the best example of the juxtaposition between the two, is Debbie Sardone. So Debbie Sardone isn't very well known in like the online marketing guru niche, right? But she is so good. She just doesn't have like an Instagram and a YouTube, and she doesn't do the whole personal brand thing. She just crushes it, you know? And Debbie first started a business called Buckets and Bows, and it was an online cleaning business. And so this online cleaning business is still a local service business that needs to have a website, right? Where the services are listed, where there's a team, there's special offerings, there's content. It's more professional, it's corporate. It's a corporatized business. And then in growing her personal cleaning business, she built what I think we can call a personal brand business called the Maid Coach. And so through the Maid Coach, this is a little bit more than just like a one pager, but it basically is a one pager because there's nothing on here other than ways to buy the products and ways to just learn about Debbie a little bit. So like you could easily list all of this stuff on one page because there's nothing to it. It's just the products that she has. And and that's it. So I think this is like the best example to see the difference between the two because this would not make any sense to have as like a one-page business. People want to know what it is that they're signing up for. What are they buying? What are the potential services that they can buy, that they can hire somebody for? Whereas this is a personal brand business. Although Debbie's face isn't front and center, I mean, it really is though, and she absolutely crushes it. I think Debbie is such an awesome entrepreneur. I've followed her for a while, and she's a badass. So this right here is sort of the perfect juxtaposition between what it looks like to have a corporate website and what it looks like to have like a small one page personal brand representation where the whole purpose of the website is either just to buy the product that your social media is promoting or to contact you. So, what's the end conclusion? Well, as is the case with everything in online business, it's nuanced. If you want to build a personal brand business, I do not think you need to have a website. If you want to, you can create a splash page just to have a place where you can point people. But the only purpose of that splash page is to generate leads or sell products, and that's it. Whereas if your business is more corporate, if you have to really list what it is that you do, list your services, and promote your business through online content, through the website itself, well, then yeah, I think it's really, really important to build a website. So, in summary, websites are less important and more important than they've ever been. Not everybody needs a website, but the people that do need a website, the businesses that do need a website, really, really, really need one. So it's an interesting little thought experiment as to where you stand with the business that you're trying to build. Let me know what you think. Please leave a comment. Please smash that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you on the next one. See ya.